Can we all agree that Jersey Mike's is better than Subway? As someone who went to Subway more times than I can count, going to Jersey Mike's just completely changed my perspective on Subway. Like, everything they do at Jersey Mike's is just better than Subway. And what sucks is that Subway back in the day used to be good and not overpriced. But now you just see and hear a lot of people just shitting on Subway for their poor quality of food and their prices. All Subway had to do was not open so many stores close together, raise their prices so high, and just have better quality ingredients. Then they wouldn't be in this situation that they're in. My mom's birthday was not long ago, and she requested prime rib and Yorkshire puddings for her birthday. In my household, if it's your birthday, you can have your favorite meal. So even if it's something disgusting like balut, haggis, or even monkey brains, we'll do everything in our power to provide you with that. Okay, I don't think anyone is actually going to ask for any of that for their birthday unless they're a psychopath or secretly a serial killer. But I haven't had any of those things, or at least not yet. The weirdest or most exotic thing, quote unquote, that I've ever had is a spider at a food market in China. It had a nice little meat flavor to it, and no, I did not have any goddamn bats. By the way, make sure you save your leftover prime rib and gravy for a very special sandwich. Anyway, happy belated birthday, Mom. You picked a very good meal to have. If your fish sandwich isn't as crispy as this, I don't want it. And the secret to a good crispy batter is baking powder. Baking powder increases your batter's pH levels while also increases its browning properties. Baking powder also sucks out the meat's moisture, which results in more air bubbles, which creates that extra crispy exterior. And the best part? You only need about 1 to 2 tablespoons of baking powder in your batter, and that's it. Also, fish sandwiches are so underrated. They deserve more love. You see a lot of chicken and steak sandwiches out there, but not a lot of fish sandwiches. They're like deli sandwiches. Really good, but don't see a lot of them. Story time. One night I was out drinking with my friends looking at an art show that was basically just a bunch of screens. We were pretty disappointed, but it might have been our fault for having high expectations for this art show. After we were underwhelmed by this art show, we came across a food truck plaza that mostly consists of poutine trucks and Wellington onions that cost $20. Which pisses me off because you can make that for $1. Anyway, one truck was serving Nashville chicken sandwiches, and having it at 2 a.m. while intoxicated just hit the spot. It ended up hitting the spot so hard that I made my own. Welcome back to my Kitchen Nightmares series, where I cook crappy looking dishes from Kitchen Nightmares and do them justice. For episode 4, we got the lobster roll from the Black Pearl. Ramsay had a mixture of Connecticut, Maine, and Canadian lobster rolls, and he said all 3 tasted horrible, bland, and the bread was just very, very soggy. Funny enough, just 4 days after the episode aired, the restaurant would close. One particular owner who didn't like Ramsay would blame him on the show for the closure. But if you watch the episode, you'll likely think a different reason, as this particular owner was very full of himself and, well, couldn't take feedback very well. And I like my buns burnt, you guys. Fuck. American Thanksgiving is coming up, which means I have to fulfill my Canadian duty to show the American people what we made for our Thanksgiving, so you guys can have some ideas for your Thanksgiving. You're welcome, America, considering that you've been likely making the same turkey recipe for the last 20 years. Well, I mean, don't thank me fully. You can thank Notorious Foodie himself for putting this turkey idea in my head, because my god, that guy is an artist when it comes to cooking. Something I'm striving for. Last year I smoked a turkey, which was pretty fire. It was my first time smoking a turkey, and I was really happy how it turned out. If you want to see the video for that, you're gonna have to stalk me way back. Or you can make me stalk myself, and I can send you the videos for that directly if you ask me nicely and say please. This was a labor of love to make, but definitely worth making. Happy Thanksgiving, America. I was craving a steak sandwich, and so I made this. This is a steak sandwich with a nice red pepper aioli. And not just with caramelized onions, but with mushrooms as well. So I honestly forgot how good mushrooms are with steak sandwiches. What makes a good steak sandwich are definitely caramelized onions and even fried onions, but also a nice aioli. Ever since I discovered the beauty of an immersion blender, it is so much more fun and rewarding to just make your own aioli. What makes it so fun is using your own imagination. For example, I've made a chive aioli, a roasted garlic aioli, and now this red pepper aioli. Plus, not only for sandwiches, but for dips or just having it on its own if you're crazy enough. Beef Wellington is the first recipe I think of when it comes to holiday recipes. And it's fitting because of how special and elegant a beef Wellington is. Let's be real, this isn't a recipe that you're gonna have on a regular Tuesday night. Alright, honey, what do you want for dinner tonight? A beef Wellington? Sure, honey, that's no big deal. It's Tuesday, which means it's Beef Wellington Tuesday. No, a beef Wellington is something you'd want to make for either a very special occasion or just during the holidays. I also think a beef Wellington is a recipe that everyone needs to make at least once in their life to really appreciate the time and effort it takes to make one. Anyway, I love the holidays holiday season because I actually have time for once to make big meals that take a long ass time to make. Like this beef Wellington, for crying out loud. There's an exception for, You can thank my dad for this recipe, as this is his traditional seafood chowder recipe that he makes every Christmas Eve. Now, it's not always the exact same recipe every year. For example, last year he seared off all the fish meat, but this year he decided to just poach everything. And this year, he decided to add some charred leeks, which add a nice flavor to the whole thing. So if you're a seafood lover, this chowder is calling you. I have a question. Do you guys ever come across a vegan recipe and say to yourself, wow, that looks really good. It's just missing some chicken or beef in this thing. Well, that's what I thought, at least, when I first saw this pasta recipe. And before you start calling me anti-vegan and such, I actually follow a few people who are vegan, and two, my family and I almost went to a vegan restaurant a few years ago so we could try some vegan recipes. But COVID cop blocked us essentially on that, so we couldn't go to it. I couldn't go vegan because I like my meat too much, but I am open to trying some vegan recipes. So I am open to any recommendations you guys give me on this. Today we got a holiday recipe for you guys.
A Christmas salmon bake.
Olive oil,
Salt,
pepper,
garlic powder,
and paprika. Give her a mix.
in the oven.
425, 30 to 40 minutes. Butter, orange juice, it's like a little bit brown. Brown sugar, and chili flakes, maple syrup. Oh. Salt, pepper, and some garlic powder. Rub that in. Oh yeah.
Lemon.
Let's make it Christmassy.
Pomegranate.
Parsley. Yes. Let's try it. That's unbelievable.
Amazing.
So good. Story time. There are really two people in my life that influenced my cooking career. My mom and Gordon Ramsay. My mom, being a very good cook already, taught me the basics of cooking and easy recipes that I could make in a heartbeat. Well, Ramsay taught me how to be creative on a consistent basis. Think of it this way. My mom essentially got me started in cooking, while Ramsay got me going and really inspired to start cooking. It was almost essentially this steak sandwich that Ramsay made on his YouTube page that led me to cooking this sandwich itself and giving me the confidence and inspiration to produce high quality food on a consistent basis. So tell me, who's your biggest cooking influencer? Did you know that Arayes can be made from start to finish in only 30 minutes? I mean, you're literally stuffing meat, herbs, seasonings, and veggies together in a pita bread and then grilling or baking it. And it works. It's genius, actually. I definitely see myself making these again, as Arayes are quite simple to make. But did you know, in the Middle East, Arayes is often served in family gatherings, symbolizing a communal experience of dining. Basically a symbol of sharing meals together. If you haven't had Arayes before, you're missing out. What would you do if you ordered a steak at a restaurant and it came out like this? Well, that's how Gordon Ramsay was served when he visited Flamingos. I mean, just look at this thing. The steak is literally served on a roof tile. And on top of that, it was served to him on a trolley. A trolley, people. The worst part about this whole thing is that when he tried the steak, he said it was very tough and chewy, which should never be the case with tenderloin, considering it's the softest cut of meat. Also, one of the owners, Adele, was a complete Karen and was not appreciative of the changes that were implemented. So screw that. If you don't like tuna raw or in its pure form, then you're kind of a wimp and you're missing out. Because let's be real, fresh tuna is best served raw. I mean, have you seen fresh tuna served any other way? Even if you cook it like a steak, it's still mostly raw. But if you want to try fresh tuna, just start small. Like, don't eat a big goddamn chunk of raw tuna unless you want to gag on it. You can also try pairing it up with rice, soy sauce, and wasabi as well. This steak might cause some controversy, but Amatriciana is better than Carbonara. There, I said it, and I stand by this. Now, before you all start shitting on me, let me explain why I think it's better. First of all, it's a lot easier to make Amatriciana than Carbonara, because Amatriciana, all you have to do is combine the tomato sauce, guanciale, cheese, and pasta, and that's it. But with Carbonara, when you're mixing the egg mixture with the pasta, if you have the heat slightly too high, your pasta will go from Carbonara to scrambled egg pasta if you're not mixing and emulsifying it properly. This has tragically happened to me, and so you want to have little to no heat when mixing everything.